Good Monday morning. Welcome into Primate Forest. We are hanging out with our ring-tailed lemurs this morning. They're getting a snack while we get started here. So we're going to go ahead and welcome everybody in and give you guys a few minutes to settle in with us. Tell us who's here, where you're from, and we'll get started learning all about our lemurs. All right, who's joining us here this morning? Oh my gosh, these guys are so cute. We are super excited to be bringing them to you guys this morning. Hi Hazel, good morning. Hi Alicia. Hey Tony, thanks for letting us know you can hear us and see us. Hi Cal in Bellevue. He is loving their tails. I totally agree. Hi Maya in Michigan and Timothy in Detroit area. And hi Kyler and King and Christian, good morning. Hi Steve, thanks for tuning in. Hi Cindy in Pemberville. And Alicia in Archbold, thanks for joining us. Hi Sue in rainy Michigan. It's not raining here yet, but it's on its way, we are told. Good morning to Kathy in St. Clair Shores. Hi Connie, Link, and Kimmy. Hey Caitlin. And oh, Iona's joining us from Wales. That's so cool. Gavin and Grace in Kansas City. Good morning, Abby in Perrysburg. Hi, Susan. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We've got a few morning announcements, and then we will talk to our keeper, Caitlin, to learn all about these amazing ring-tailed lemurs. And I just know that one of them is going to photobomb me and end up in this hammock while I'm talking to you guys. So be prepared. I might scream. All right, guys. A new week means new entrees for meals on the go. This week we've got 2 types of lasagna, meat and vegetarian, and our barbecue chicken with scalloped potatoes. Get those orders in for Tuesday and Thursday. We've added more desserts, cupcake kits, cookie kits, adult beverages. It's all the good stuff. So make sure you get those orders in at toledozoo.org/mealsonthego. And don't forget about our troop trivia coming up this week. We've got the family edition on the 19th and date night on the 23rd. You can win cool zoo prizes, so sign up for that at toledozoo.org/troop, T-R-O-O-P, trivia, all one word, .org. And let's see what else we've got going on. Juke Mode t-shirts. Their Here for Good campaign is going on through May 22nd, so you have this week to get your Toledo Zoo Quarantine Crew 2020 t-shirt order placed. Don't miss out on those. You can find that on the Juke Mode website, or if you scroll back through our social, you can find the link there too. And as always, we appreciate you guys joining us and helping to support your zoo during this difficult time. As we've said, unfortunately, we don't know when we're going to reopen yet, but as soon as we have details, we will tell you on our social, on our website, and on here. And we hope that you all noticed last Friday we had a cute announcement of a new baby orangutan, Vijar. You can scroll back to read his whole story, and he'd be a great thing to, oh, hello. The joys of live, people. He'd be a great animal to start sponsoring through our Zoo Pal program, as he was hand-reared, so he did take and will continue to take a lot of care and a lot of time. So we appreciate that. And also, I told you guys. And also last week we did a painting with our African elephants, and a few weeks ago Caitlin joined us to do a painting with our red pandas. Those are up for auction on eBay. If you go to our Facebook timeline, you can find links to all of those. We're auctioning those as part of a fundraiser to benefit the zoo's mission. So if you would love to have a one-of-a-kind masterpiece for yourself, check those out. All right, guys, we are going to turn it over to Caitlin, and she's going to talk about these very curious little lemurs.
Yes, they are. Hey, everybody. So I want to go ahead and start by introducing everyone to you. So this is half of our ring-tailed lemur group. So over there is Fanta. She is our 12-year-old female, and she is also the matriarch of this group. What's really cool about ring-tailed lemurs is females are dominant. So she is the head honcho in this group. That is her grandson, Gaston. Her daughter Lila is up there. And this is Duke here in front. That's also one of her grandsons. Her son, Barry, is in the middle. And then her daughter, Jolly, is down here right on the ground. So all of them except Fanta were born here. Fanta came to us from the Duke Lemur Center. And the other group of ring-tailed lemurs is Fresca's group, which is Fanta's sister. So that includes all of her offspring, and then our male Mox is in that group also.
Very nice. We're getting a couple comments about being in here and wearing masks and everything.
Yeah.
First of all, guys, we are committed to wearing masks for not only our safety as staff, because we are in close quarters, but also for the safety of our animals and our guests when you guys do come back to join us. But talk about some of the other protocols we have going on here. I have on these very stylish boots that totally match my outfit.
Yes. Pretty much what we do when we come into this building, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Primate Forest, but we have 6 other primate groups, and including the red pandas. So when we come in here, we pretty much change our shoes into these boots. We step in, we have 2 separate foot baths that we step in. That's to make sure that we're not bringing anything from the outside into this building. Obviously, we're all wearing masks like Kim was saying. I wear this mask, obviously, especially when I'm sharing the same space with the lemurs. But the rest of our primates that we do not share the same space with, anytime I'm in close contact with them, so if I'm, obviously not social distancing, by, training with them or those sort of things, and cleaning also. And obviously I'm wearing, I'm Michael Jackson right now, I'm only wearing one glove.
She's got her one glove.
I have my one glove here. I'm wearing gloves because I have treats for them. So I don't ever want to touch their food with my actual hand. We're doing obviously a lot of hand washing here. Something that is kind of my job is I'm also just making sure that everyone is behaving properly, and that everyone seems okay with the 3 of us in here. So everyone's really doing well. They're really calm. They're all just pretty interested in Corey's camera. As you can see, Fanta wants to come over. Jolly was actually, during your announcement, Jolly was licking the camera, his little camera, so it was really,
I think she has a question. She's raising her hand down here, you guys.
Yeah, so I'm giving them some craisins. Craisins are a pretty treat that they don't get all the time, but it's really good for them to sort of run around and get it.
All right, so we have questions coming in here. Let's see. Carrie first wants to know, how do you tell them all apart? You were so good at telling us who each and every one of them was.
So I really wish that there was a really distinguishable way that I tell them apart. The only one there are 2 in here that are distinguishable. So Fanta here, she's actually missing an index finger on her left hand there. And then Jolly over there, Jolly actually had an infection in her ear, so she actually lost some of the cartilage on that ear. So it looks like her ear looks a little different than everybody else's. When it comes to the ones that don't have a lot of distinguishing marks, kind of they've all been born here, and I've worked with pretty much all of them from the time that they were born. So the way that we sort of start is when they're young, we sort of like, okay, well that one's got really fluffy ears, and that one is that one, and this one's got a mark over here, and this one's got a fluffy tail. And so as they sort of, get older and grow up, they lose those, but we've looked at their faces so long that as they've distinguished their features, we're able to tell them apart.
Very cool. And Connor wants to know what they eat.
So in the wild, ring-tailed lemurs eat a lot of plants and fruit. And so what we do here at the zoo is we try to mimic that. So these guys get a variety of fruits and vegetables each day. Today their fruit was banana and apple, and they got broccoli as their vegetable. Sundays are a ring-tailed lemur's least favorite day. They get all veggies, no fruit. They get a variety of lettuce. So we give them different types of head lettuce, so like romaine and leaf lettuce, and then they get loose, so kale, collard greens, that kind of stuff.
And Steve asks, do they get to go outside?
Yes. So we tend to take these guys, their temperature guidelines, a little bit more on the cautious side, just because they're obviously being from Madagascar, they don't really experience a lot of cold temperatures. Most of the temperature cutoff is as long as it's 50 degrees or warmer, we can lock animals outside. These guys, I tend to, If it's 50 and sunny, I'll do it. These guys love to sun, and that's a really good way for them to warm themselves. But if it's kind of like really gray out today and that kind of stuff, I won't put them out. We do have heat mats out there though, so we can turn those on. And for other primates that go out there, if they're a little bit chilly, they can go sit on the heat mats. I do want to point out, you might see them be kind of like really angry with each other. So males in a ring-tailed lemur group are on the bottom. So Gaston, which is the male that Corey is looking at right now, and Duke are the two that are on the absolute bottom of this sort of group. And so the females will chase males off if they think they're getting food or if they're close to something that they want. So it's not aggression, it's just part of a ring-tailed lemur life.
All right. And Sam and Charlotte, ages 7 and 5, would like to know, why do they have striped tails?
So these guys have striped tails. They were actually named for their 13 alternating rings on their tails. When they're out foraging in the wild, those tails are a signal that, that allow others in the troop to know where everyone is. So it's sort of like a flag. And that's why also if you see them walk and you can kind of see them bouncing around, they'll have their tails up always, like a little question mark, like Lila does down here. So they always keep those tails up so that all their troop members know where they are at all times.
That's very cool. And Kelly asks, what are their predators?
So they have one natural predator. It's called a fossa. It is the only carnivore that lives on Madagascar. Since these guys are actually one of the few lemur species that they spend about 40% of their time on the ground. So that is when they are the most vulnerable. However, fossa also can be going in trees, so they can be caught in trees. But obviously, besides those guys, we are their predators in the wild.
And Brendan and Lucas would like to know if lemurs are endangered.
They are, yes. So these guys are endangered in Madagascar. All primates on Madagascar are endangered. They're losing their habitat to deforestation. And obviously the illegal pet trade, these guys, even though they look cute and cuddly, they definitely are not, and they definitely don't make good pets.
No, we've seen that by them ping-ponging around here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lila.
Oh my goodness. And Layla, age 6, would like to know, where do they sleep?
So these guys, when they sleep, if in, you can look in this day room, we have a lot of logs. We have a lot of logs in here that they tend to like to sleep on. And so they'll lay in a group together, we call it lemur snuggling. So they'll pretty much, sometimes they'll be in an entire line of 6, all of them snuggled together. But sometimes they will sleep on the ground, especially if it's sunny out. They'll lay in the grass in the sun together. I don't have anything else, see?
And when they snuggle all together, it's so cute, you guys.
Yes.
I have seen it. It is amazing. But they also wrap their tails around each other.
They use it as a scarf to be able to keep themselves warm. I'm just trying to show them that there is no more treats.
Yep.
So that
they're not convinced.
They're not convinced. Nope.
That's okay. Larry wants to know, how tall can they get? They're showing off here.
Yeah, so this is about as tall. You can see how Fanta she kind of just goes right above my knee. That's about as tall as they're going to get on their 2 feet.
All right. Everybody's saying yes. They are so cute. They truly are.
Yes.
Parker wants to know, what do they get for treats?
So obviously they like craisins. When we're doing training, we will use banana. So banana is the #1 fruit and favorite of the lemurs. But these guys, what we do as part of their daily husbandry is we give them a scatter item. So that's any kind of dry goods. So Cheerios, sunflower seeds, pasta, popcorn, that kind of stuff. We have that every day. You can kind of see it's like a little bit of a destruction here. Inside these little Dixie cups was some peanut butter smeared on the inside, and then some oats. So,
and those were very popular
yes.
when we first came in here.
Yes.
So. And Wyatt would like to know, what is their favorite activity?
I would say they love to be outside in the sun. So probably if it's sunny, they do what they're famous for is we call it lemur yoga. So they'll lay or they'll sit in the sun with their arms and their legs all the way out. We call it a yoga position. And so that's so that the sun can penetrate kind of under their armpits and in their hip pockets. So that allows them to keep their body temperature up and get them warm. So that's probably their favorite activity, but sunbathing is definitely one of their favorites.
And Isabel and Colton ask, where are they found in the wild?
So these guys are found on the island of Madagascar, and that's the only place in the world that they're found. Madagascar is an island off of the coast of Africa, and so all lemur species scared me. Jolly kind of is loud when she jumps. No, so these guys, all lemurs are found on the island of Madagascar, and they're only found on the island of Madagascar.
All right. And Ulrich, age 4, would like to know when they have babies, how many do they have at a time?
So most of the time, they can have three. Most of the time they have twins. Fresca, the other female in our group, she always has twins. When we were breeding them, she pretty much always had twins. And then Fanta pretty much always had single babies. Jolly here, where is she? Oh, right there. Jolly obviously had twins because Gaston and Duke are brothers and they were born together.
And we need to say hi to Lakota Elementary School's class that's joining us today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And Johnny would like to know, how high can they jump?
These guys are found in the canopies. If they're going to be up off the ground, they're going to be in the canopy. So they can probably jump pretty high. They can jump from about the floor all the way up to where Fanta's sitting in one jump.
And Grayson wants to know if they have brown eyes.
So what's funny is that their eyes all kind of have a little bit of different shade of yellow or orange. So as you can see looking at Fanta's, hers are a little bit lighter. Her daughter Lila next to her, those are a little bit more orange colored. Duke down here, he's got some yellow eyes. Those are a little bit lighter. So they're pretty much range from about an orange, different shades of orange to as light as that yellow like Duke has right there.
And can you recap for Roland who everybody is?
Sure, absolutely. So this is Fanta right here in front. She's our matriarch. She's the head of the group. Lila is her daughter. Down here is Duke. That is her grandson. This is Jolly. That's Fanta's daughter. Over there is Barry. That is Fanta's son. And Gaston is over at the far door over there.
Checking things out over there.
Making sure he's watching everything. And that is Fanta's grandson also. That's Jolly's son.
And Elise would like to know if they like going in water.
Not really. We will give them water as enrichment. So you can kind of see we have some barrels that are cut out, and we can always flip over these black tubs that are in here. We can put water in them. We'll keep it pretty low though. The idea, we want them to have to reach into the water to grab their food, but no, they really don't like water very much.
And Lily and Catherine want to know if they're in the raccoon family.
They are not. These guys are, what's interesting about them is these guys are in a family called prosimians. So when you think about primates, primates is kind of the umbrella name. These guys are, all lemurs are so specialized because they're from Madagascar and they have a lot of really cool adaptations that scientists put them in their own species as prosimians.
And Lily, age 9, asks, how long do they sleep at night?
So these guys, they probably have a little bit more of a normal schedule like we do. Pretty much when about 5 o'clock is when we leave for the day, and they've had pretty much all their food by then. And so they're resting when we leave. They'll probably get up a few times during the evening to sort of bop around and eat more. They'll most likely sleep most of the evening, and then usually in the early morning, the gibbons usually wake everybody up with their singing. So they're pretty awake by the time that we get here at about 8 o'clock in the morning.
And Kennedy wants to know why the floor is wet in here.
So every day we clean and we clean holdings to be able to put new primates in. So the floor is a little bit wet because I had hosed it and scrubbed it and then hosed it, and it's not able to get all the water from the from the squeegee.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why it's wet.
And Sam, age 5, wonders, why are they so jumpy?
So that's just a natural part about being a lemur. So these guys, pretty much, their social structure is really, kind of set. So Fanta's pretty much always making sure that the boys aren't getting anything that she wants, and these guys are just a super active species. So they're, always bopping around, checking things out. We got obviously a lot going on in here as we're in here with them, but there's cleaning going on, and other primates are making noises and stuff like that.
And AJ wants to know, how long do they live?
So in captivity, we say that ring-tailed lemurs live till they're about early to mid-20s.
All right. And Elias asks, where do they go to the bathroom? I think Corey could probably
tell you where they go to the bathroom. So these guys pretty much, this is their home. So when you think about, for humans, we can go to a bathroom and shut the door. That is not a normal thing for any animal. So these guys pretty much go anywhere that they feel the urge to do so. Most of the time, the lemurs will poop off of things. So you'll see them sort of perch either like off of a log or off of a black tub, things like that, and then that's where they'll go to the bathroom.
And full disclosure, that happened to us right when we came in the exhibit this morning. Poor Corey was standing just about where I am here underneath a log, and one of them ran by and pooped right in his hair. We took care of it, don't worry. But yes, that is our bathroom story for today. And Logan would like to know what your favorite part of working with lemurs is.
Probably my favorite part about working with lemurs is it's just watching their personalities and how they interact with each other. Like Gaston, especially when the kids play, so they're sort of older now, so they're around 3 or 4 years old, the kids are. So they tend to not play as much, but when they play, it's the best thing to watch. It's really cute, especially when they try to involve an older someone else and they don't want to play. But yeah, they're so fun to work with, and they make you smile all the time.
They certainly do. And Isabel asks, how many lemurs do we have here at the zoo? How many ring-tailed lemurs? Let's start there.
Okay. So total here at the zoo, we have 12 ring-tailed lemurs. So as I said, you're seeing half of them right now. So this is just 6 of them. This is Fanta and all of her children and grandchildren. And then our other group is in a different part of the building, and that is her sister Fresca and all of Fresca's children.
All right. And Roland wants to know what a group of ring-tailed lemurs is called.
It's called a troop.
All right.
I had to make sure I knew that one, so I looked it up.
All right, let's see. And how long is their tail?
Their tails are about 2 feet in length, and that's pretty much the same for every ringtail that has ever lived. It's pretty much about 2 feet. And you can kind of tell some of their coloration's a little bit different, and their tails can sometimes look a little bit different, but that's not something I ever really can tell the difference for them. But.
And Emma wants to know if they have claws.
No, so these guys they do have nails, just like they have nails on their hands and their feet. The nails on their feet, we call them their grooming nail, so that can be always a little bit longer than everything else, than all their other nails. But what's interesting about them grooming is that they actually have right in front, they have a comb look like teeth, so that's how they're able to actually groom each other, is through that little those teeth that they have in front.
And Alex wants to know, what does their fur feel like?
It's pretty coarse. So obviously their fur has to be able to be adapted to their environment. So it can get really wet in Madagascar. So a lot of times that fur will beat up on it. The fur will have water that sort of just kind of sits on the top, and so it doesn't allow it to penetrate to their skin. So they don't ever shed. So it's not like kind of like we were talking about pandas, where they have that thick, dense underfur that they do lose. So they aren't like that, but they do have kind of coarser hair.
And Rebecca asks, do they make a sound?
My God, these guys, these guys are so vocal. They are one of the most vocal primates that we have in this building. So they're not doing it now, but so they do have an alarm call. It's a sort of a barking sound, which if you have been at the zoo, they do it outside. That is obviously to alarm everyone that there's a predator or something that they don't enjoy. So any sort of big bird or a dog. These guys, unfortunately, most primates do not like service dogs. So they will alarm call about a service dog. So if you can kind of hear the clicking sound, I don't know if we can get that. So that's just a normal vocalization that they make all the time. They pretty much do a lot of clicking. The males will do a howl. That is usually for them to be able to, he will start it when the females are calling. You kind of hear him. So that's just, yeah, the clicking noise is something they make all the time.
Yeah.
They're also super, one of their senses is smell. So olfactory is a huge part of ring-tailed lemurs. So they do a lot of scent marking. So males, if you can see, I don't know if you can see on Duke, but so they have spurs on each one of their arms that allows them to penetrate tree bark to put their scent gland in it. And they also have scent glands on their chest. Females scent mark with their genitalia. Males can do that also.
And Scarlett, age 7, asks, is there a difference between males and females? Can you tell them apart?
Physically and visually, no, they don't look any different. They are a bit bigger. Males usually are around 3 kilos, or kilograms, which is about, I think, 6 pounds, something like that. And females are usually a little bit smaller. Obviously, the only way that you can really tell them is the spurs, because those are not on female chests. Those are on males' chests. And genitalia would be a way.
All right. And Tara wants to know, why do they still have the wrappers to the treats they got this morning?
So that, these are edible. So these are like Dixie cups that you could buy for your bathroom. And it is okay for them to have it. And it's okay for them to eat it if they want to. We like to be able to sometimes give them enrichment that is completely edible. So not only is the inside edible, but they can eat the outside. And it doesn't harm them. It's not harmful at all.
And you guys probably can't see, but there are still little bits of peanut butter.
Yes.
I'm sure they will come back for.
Yes, they will, yes.
All right. And Roland's grandma wants to know, can they swing from their tails?
No. So their tails are not prehensile in any way. They are used for balance, and they are obviously used, like I was talking earlier, to be able to signal to make sure everyone knows where they are in the troop.
And Sue asks, do their nails have to be trimmed?
Oh no, they keep their nails, if you were watching and you've seen them chasing each other around, their nails stay pretty short, obviously with the logs that we have in here, and then when they go outside.
And how old are these lemurs?
So Fanta over here, I believe she's going to be 12 this year. Jolly is our oldest. I believe that she is going to be, she's 5 or 6. And then Lila is 4. She's up there in the lemur pile. I think she's in front. And then the 3 boys are 3.
And Sierra asks, how good is their eyesight?
So these guys, like I said, I was saying that olfactory is is the main sense that they use. They have fairly good eyesight. Obviously, if they're outside and they see a giant bird, they don't know what it is, but they know that it's a big bird, so they'll alarm call for it.
And Lily, age 9, asks, do the lemurs have stink fights?
So the only time that I've ever seen, not an actual stink fight, because that's usually between 2 males that are vying for breeding access to females. So we only have 1 breeding male in our group, and he's in Fresca's group. What I have seen is where they will start, so they'll like scent mark their tail, and they actually will kind of waft it at you, although they do that for females too. Like when it's breeding season, they'll be like wafting their scent towards them like, hey, how's it going? But not actual stink fights. But yes, I've seen where they'll scent mark their tail and then they'll bring it up and they'll sort of wave it at a female. We used to have an old male lemur here that would do it to the keepers.
Oh.
Oh.
And we're hearing a little bit of a whining
yes,
call
so that's,
happening.
So that's called they call it a cat's meow. So that's a meowing sound that they all make. That's pretty much that's how they sort of talk to each other.
And Owen, age 5, wants to know, what do the rings on their tails mean?
They don't really have a meaning. It's just a way for, obviously it's pretty striking, and you would think when you're out in the, foraging out in Madagascar that it would be something that would be really easy to see. So it's a way for them to be able to locate each other.
And Alex asks for Kennedy, how long do they sleep?
So they probably sleep on and off, all night while we're not here. So they'll probably get up a couple of, every hour, or maybe hours to sort of patrol and maybe pick on some food, because they don't eat all their food by the time that we leave for the day. So they sleep a good amount of the evening.
And Alex would like to know how many babies have been born here at the zoo.
Oh my goodness, we have had quite a few. So there's what, 5 in here, and there are, let's see, Fresca, Zara, Mimi, Anja, Bert. So there are 9 that we have here. That 9 are, yes, we have 9 that are here, that were born here. And we've had, I think we've had probably 15 or 20 babies born here.
Wow, that's amazing.
I didn't think I was going to get that question. So we've been breeding lemurs for a long time. So we had quite a few, and of course when Fresca has twins every time, it gets a lot.
I bet, yeah. All right, we're going to end today's live feed asking you, when is the best time to come see these guys? So what time of year, what time of day would you get the most action like we've gotten today?
Honestly, so these guys lemurs are really active. Our ring-tailed lemurs are always pretty much moving around. So especially in the summertime, we're able to open, you guys are coming out, see them, they should be always out, always moving around, always active. These guys' metabolism is really, really fast, so we feed them about 4 times a day. We feed them about 4 times a day. So there's always the morning feed, and then we always feed them about right after lunch, and then a midday feed. So usually when we feed them, they'll be active so that you can see them. So really, you can't miss not seeing these guys being active, but definitely when they're able to go outside, for sure.
They are super, super cute. So we want to thank you guys for joining us today and learning all about our lemurs. We hope that you will continue to join us, and we are moving here trying to make sure that we don't get pooped on before we're finished.
I mean, it's part of as a primate keeper, it happens.
It does happen,
but
yes.
I would rather not. I would rather be aware of it before it happens. Sometimes
Absolutely.
You can't avoid it. But.
Yes. So, yes, definitely come see these guys. They are super cute, and as we said, unfortunately, we don't know exactly when we're going to reopen yet or how things are going to look. But stay tuned. We are committed to doing these live feeds every weekday at 10:30 while we're closed, and as soon as we know more information about reopening, we will let you guys know on here, on our social, and on our website. So thank you guys, and on that note, we are headed out. We'll see you tomorrow.